Good morning. Hi, welcome to another Offstage Tunes live show. I'm your host, Louise. I am so excited to welcome all of you to the show. We've got, wow, an amazing roster of artists joining us today. We've got Lucy Landymore joining us from Vienna. We've got Meghan Pulles joining us from New York. And we've got Roth joining us also from New York. This is going to be a packed show. I'm so excited. Let's say hello to these artists that we have. Hey.
Hello.
How's everyone doing?
Fantastic. How are you?
Woohoo. Awesome. All right. So I'm going to let all of them go backstage and get ready for their segments. Let's see what's new today. I actually did not have time to make my coffee or my brunch items, but I went out and supported local business. So I've got coffee here and I have, let's hope I don't make any here. There we go. Some cookies. Yeah. Good morning, Runner Proofs. Great to have you join the show. I've got cookies here. Why cookies? Well, we may or may not have the Cookie Monster visit us today. Maybe I'm joking, maybe I'm not. A surprise guest. Anyway, so where's everyone tuning in from? Let us know. And happy Saturday. This is the brunch show where we talk about music and we have some snacks to go along with it. I unfortunately never have time to take a bite, so I'm gonna try to do that. I've got 3 different kinds of cookies. Hopefully I'll get to do that. So Pack Show, let me not ramble on for much longer. There are I do want to mention that live music, at least here in New York City, I don't know about other cities, but live music is slowly coming back. I heard that venues are ready to accept bookings. I know that they have to be at a lower capacity, I think 30% or something like that. Similar to restaurants, there are restrictions. But yay, live music is coming back. I already know some other artists that have already booked shows. So things, at least in that regards, is moving in the right direction. Very happy for that. Can't wait. It's not the same when you hear a live stream versus when you can feel the vibration in the room. So yeah, look forward to that. Now, what new releases have dropped lately? I have 4 to show you. 2 are music tracks and 2 are music videos. So with this first one, let me tell you about this first one. Let's officially go to our new releases segment. Go ahead. Okay, this one from a group called Supermud. This song is called Show Them Fangs. And I have 2 versions of this story that I want to tell you. And maybe all of you who are tuning in can guess which one is the correct version. But before I get to that, this is the latest single that Supermud has released. And after that, they have plans to release their first full-length album this summer. And so, keep an eye out for that one. Here's version 1 of the story. Version 1 of a story of Show Them Fangs. Show Them Fangs is an upbeat rock song written from the viewpoint of a captive Wolverine. Okay, that's 1. Version 2. This is one that is very dear to my heart, as it's the 3rd song I've ever written from the point of view of a dog dentist. Okay, which one do you think is the correct version? Take a listen and let me know. Here it is. Supermud.
Them chains, yeah. Show them
I get a nice chuckle every time I listen to that, and have listened to them multiple times. Show them fangs. Oh, that was brilliant. So what do you think? Version 1, Wolverine, or version 2, dog dentist? Both are hilarious. I will accept both versions. But if anyone has any thoughts, drop your comments in the chat. Okay, so thank you. Supermud, I do want to mention that they're a rock band based out of Jersey City, And they recently did something very cool. They raised money. I think they raised over $20,000 for charity. So yeah, awesome job, you guys. Keep supporting Supermot. Next song. This song is by Meghan Pulles. And if you missed our earlier intro, let me just tell you that Meghan Pulles is one of our featured artists this morning. So she's going to be here to talk more about her musical journey. But her new song is called New Horizon. And this is what she has to say. This is a song about finding hope in the dark spaces of life and encouraging others to take that perspective as well, which is something we especially can relate to in a pandemic this past year. Absolutely, Megan. Take a listen. This is New Horizon.
Going to a new horizon where the sun is always shining. So don't weep for me. Someday we'll be together in this new horizon.
That's just beautiful. Especially, I had to include the part where there's a little bit of violin because, as a violinist myself, I'm always drawn to that. Also, a quick shout out to the person who created her artwork, Laura, who goes by Enchanted Marvel on Instagram. That's her account name. She created that beautiful cover art, and I think it fits with the song so well. It's you're starting from a thorny place and then looking forward to the sun, and with these beautiful colors in front. It's a beautiful song, and the cover art does illustrate that. So Megan will tell us more about the song, and so stay tuned for that segment of the show. Okay, now moving on to the next two releases. These are both going to be videos. The first one, this one is by Lex Rush, and it's called Make It. This is what she has to say. She says, right now, it's tough times for everyone, but hopefully you can check out this song and that it will bring you a few minutes of lightness to the day. So this is from their Escape the Matrix EP that will be coming out. Sorry, that just came out 2nd of April. That's yesterday. So take a listen and then watch it. The visuals is really cool. This is Make It by Lex Rush.
What's the monster? What's the monster? Tonight, let's see the freak of Asia. Gotta make it. Gotta make it. Gotta make it.
Thank you so much, Lex Rush. That music video also features Dale Novella, and the full video can be found on YouTube. So if you just search for Lex Rush, Make It, you'll find it. Okay, one more, and this one is dear to my heart. Phil Robinson recently released his Transcendental Cowboy single on YouTube. The full release, the official release is coming soon, but this is a special edition. And quick backstory, last year, I think it was September, I was invited by Roomful of Sky Music, an organization that's a big promoter in New York City. I was invited to participate in a benefit event to help raise money for the Bitter End, which is an iconic live music venue in New York City. And the benefit was to help keep the Bitter End from having to close permanently. So we did a featurette, a video showcasing the story of the Bitter End, and then we went and shot some interviews with the staff and also with other musicians that have frequently performed there. So that was something that we did on site at the Bitter End. But what we also did that night was we only had like 2 hours to do this, but we shot a music video featuring Phil Robinson on stage at the Bitter End, playing to an empty Bitter End. It was like a mind-blowing experience. You never see the Bitter End empty. So that experience was, it's something shocking, but with the pandemic, that's what happened. So this video was made to raise efforts to save our stages. So there's a Save Our Stages campaign going on to keep venues from having to close down. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to have collaborated with Phil Robinson to make this video. I want to show you a snippet of this. It just premiered earlier this week. So take a watch.
I'm a transcendental cowboy with the existential blues. It's solipsistic, better transcendental news. It's more than just one recipe, girl. Feel good about what you choose. So when it comes down to do what you gotta, when it comes down to do what you gotta, when it comes down to do what you gotta do.
Yeah, thank you so much, Phil Robinson, for letting me share this on the show. And the efforts did not go unnoticed. The benefit for the bitter end back in September helped raise over $24,000 and really helped keep the bitter end in business. They are about to open in about a week. I believe it's April 9th is when they will reopen. So congratulations. Thanks, Phil. Thanks, Room Full of Sky, for including me in such a meaningful event. I was trying to catch up to all the comments that people have sent. Somebody said that they're tuning in from Mexico. Hello. Thank you. I don't think I've ever had an audience member tune in from Mexico. This is quite exciting. Good morning, King Hua, for tuning in. Thank you so much. In response to our earlier new release by Supermutt, somebody, Red Reproves, says that he thinks the version, Dog Dentist version, is the correct one. Actually, Supermutt is here. I don't know if they're still here. If you want to give us the correct version, let's just share that with everyone. If they're still tuned in. If not, we'll follow up and let you know. Right. Okay. I think it's time to get to our interview section. We've got 3 amazing, fantastic, and fun artists that are joining in the show. First one up is Lucy Landymore, and she is a percussionist. She is a drummer. This is something that she doesn't put on her website, but she is also a hilarious music tutorial instructor. She does all kinds of really crazy instructions on how to play different instruments that she does not play on a channel called Amuse News. I get a good laugh every time I watch her teach somebody how to play the flute or the violin. So she is definitely multi-talented. Let's start our segment with Lucy. Hello. Hi, Lucy. You're tuning in from Vienna. So it's, I should say, good afternoon.
Yes, it's afternoon here.
Wow. How have you been during this pandemic? What's the situation like in Vienna?
To start with, I had just travelled so much and toured so much. That was back in February, March, wasn't it? And I was what's the word? I needed a break so badly. I just wanted to have some days at home to relax a bit before the next things came up. And I wished too much because then all of this happened. So different people, different friends did different things. So one of my friends took 3 months off. One took even 5 months off. And for a while I kept going because I thought, oh, we're going to be back to it in about 3 months. So I'll just practice loads all the time to try and finish all the projects that I wanted to finish. And then I did that, and then it kept going. And more gigs kept getting cancelled, more tours kept getting cancelled and postponed. So I've had a nice time, actually, doing my projects and composing more and having a routine during the day, going into practice and then going home, having a nice dinner at home, cooked food. And but now I'm starting to really want to perform again. All along, I've really missed performing because it's such a special feeling when you perform and you're sharing something with an audience. It's not quite the same as live stream. It's very nice. It's interesting. I've got all these mics set up, and that's quite fun to play around with. These SE Electronics microphones. I love them. There's a really massive tube condenser up there. I love them
Yeah.
so much. So that's quite fun, but the live performances really have something special. And when the audience is there, the audience don't really realize how much input they have into the performance. Until you are on stage performing, you don't realize as an audience member how much difference you make to the performance on the stage. It really gives a huge lift to whoever's performing.
Absolutely. The energy that you get from the people really helps motivate. And then everyone else, like as an audience member, you feel that kind of excitement coming from people next to you. It's just, as much as I love the live stream setting, it's something that we had to adapt to during this time. Like I bought an interface because it was necessary during this time.
Yeah.
But it's never going to replace the live experience. So I'm so happy that you are looking forward to starting that up again. Before and we have some performance clips of you in previous settings, performances. You play with all different kinds of ensembles. But before we get to that, let's just tell everybody more about your background, how you got started as a percussionist, percussion player, drummer. You also are a composer. Give us a quick overview of that, the beginning of everything.
Yes, I'll give you a quick overview of my life story. Here we go.
Let's
So
do
I
it.
started on, I was born, and then I started on drums when I was 8 years old. I begged my parents, and before that I played the piano, and it was nice, but you just sit in one place and you move your fingers a little bit and notes come out. But drums is really physical, and you can turn here and then you can turn around here, and I love the physical aspect of it. I think that's one of the most appealing things for me. And then I added percussion, tuned percussion, and I became fascinated by Cuban and Brazilian percussion as well. So I've actually been to Cuba for 2 weeks to study. No, 3 weeks. I went for 3 weeks. I booked myself a little Airbnb and I struggled with my basic Spanish, but I went to study with the best people. I made sure that I found the best percussionists in Cuba, and the one who really made a difference to my whole my way of playing was Changuito. And I think a lot of percussionists already know Changuito. He's very famous in the percussion world, but for people who don't know him, he's one of the most legendary timbale players out there, and he actually invented a new style of music called songo. And I think he must have invented some other styles as well, but this branches of Cuban music styles. And then I went to Brazil for 2 weeks as well and studied samba, and that was amazing. We just played samba for 5 hours per day straight, and then in the evening we'd go out and dance samba, or we'd play some more. And I think I was ill after that work holiday, because I really kept going during that. I wanted to learn everything, so I just kept playing. And what's the rest of the question? How did I get into a career?
Well, I think you managed to answer everything. You became a percussion player because you asked your parents, you wanted to do it, and you like the physical aspect of it. And it's interesting that you mentioned that you went to Cuba and you went to Brazil to learn instruments. I was just for fun, I was looking up percussion instruments yesterday, and on Wikipedia here, I wrote it down somewhere. Yes, if you just Google list of percussion instruments, and there's a Wikipedia page that lists out all the percussion instruments, and there are 339 of them. I'm sure there are more obscure ones maybe people don't know about. And so they're grouped into pitched and unpitched instruments. And just for fun, I also wrote down, the list of instruments go from A to Z. A starts with a burukura, which is from Ghana. Huh? And then, do you know that instrument, Lucy?
I know the kura. Oh, this is a test. I don't know if I'll get.
It's not meant to be a test. No. It's not meant to be a test. It's meant to be like just awe-inspiring kind of genre of musical instruments, how many there are. And then now, if you go all the way to Z, the last one on that Wikipedia page is Zil, which is finger cymbals.
Yes, I know this.
I've seen
Yes.
them. I've never played them, but they look cute, like little.
Yeah, I like those little finger symbols. Oh,
Yeah,
you
and I
know,
think they.
sorry. I just
Oh,
went. I went to the Maldives last month. I managed to get away. I know it's difficult during Corona times, but I already had Corona, and we had the tests for antibodies, and we had the negative tests, and we sorted everything out, so everything was safe. But in the Maldives, they have the body bury drums, and they're fascinating. I wonder if that's under the B section of Wikipedia.
oh.
Um,
Quick, somebody who's watching, look it up on Wikipedia and let us know. Meanwhile, just to show everybody how versatile Lucy is, I prepared a clip. Lucy sent me 4 different clips and I just mashed them together. Here is a quick overview of what Lucy can do as a percussion player. Go ahead. That's terrific. I love watching all of those clips. And at the end, you even did a little conducting.
I did a jump.
Wow, really impressive, Lucy. After watching that, I wanted to ask you, as somebody who goes to school to study percussion, are there essential percussion instruments that everybody who graduates from such a program must master or learn enough?
When you go to London Music College, the short answer is yes. Generally, you need to be able to play orchestral percussion and show some solo skills as well. So you can do. You have to know snare drum for orchestral percussion, a bit of triangle, a bit of clash cymbals, bass drum. Yeah, it's not a joke. And then solo, you play whatever you want, really. But the average is solo marimba, solo vibraphone. A lot of people play drums as well because a lot of people start on drum kit and then add percussion later on. But actually, you know, because you've seen that Wikipedia list of so many percussion instruments in the world. Of course, when you travel around the world, everywhere is different. So I'm just going on what I know from London. And even the marimba has a huge history behind it. There are so many different types of xylophone in the world. The Colombian xylophone, Mexican xylophone, and the balafone from West Africa. I think West Africa, or there's certain types of balafone all over Africa. Even within the balafone world, that is it seems so small. There are a million different types. So you can just keep on going, keep on researching all the time. But
I've got the best.
Sorry,
I've got the best xylophone. I'm sorry, I totally interrupted you, but
what is that little beta?
I actually have this. I did not go out and buy this for this show. I have this little thing, and I love it. Hopefully the microphone will pick it up, but I don't know if you can hear that. But
Yeah.
this is my little one note xylophone that I just love, and it plays the note A because as a violinist you have to tune the instruments every time you play, and sometimes I don't want to use a metronome to play the A. I want to just play a xylophone, and I don't know how to play. I'm just like hitting it with a little tiny cute mallet.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. But funny question for you. And
Yes.
I don't earlier Red Approved says I was totally giving you a test. It wasn't meant to be a test, but this is a mini lesson that I hope you can give us. Well, not a lesson, but I'll just go into it. Triangle and a bass drum. Which one is more difficult to master? Because they both seem like you just go like that, but I could be completely wrong.
Well, if you think of orchestral triangle and bass drum, there are different places to I don't know how long or short to make this. There are different places to play on each of the instruments. So if you really listen to the triangle, if you hit the top, you hear completely different frequencies to if you would hit the bottom. And if you have a very, very trained ear, you can hear which place on the triangle you need to play for the feeling of the symphony that you're playing in, or concerto piece that you're playing in. And also on the bass drum, it's okay, this is the answer to the question. That I think that maybe the bass drum is slightly easier, because if you want to make a nice warm round sound, there's a massive hit in the score, F F F, and you want to make the biggest rumble that you can, then you hit slightly below the center and you get a nice full sound. Also for quiet notes as well, I guess, because you want it to be the fullest sound that you can possibly make, the warmest, fullest sound. And if you want a quick punch, then you go for the middle of the bass drum, but this is more rare.
Wow.
And let's try not to bore people, but I do have some more to say. So the taiko drums in Japan, they are amazing drums. Yeah. Fascinating to watch. And you need to be very, very strong to play it. And they have a very strict technique, a very particular way of moving their arm all the way past the back of their head or up here, depending on which way the drum is angled, and they pull their elbow down and then they use a whip action, but a huge exaggerated whip action. I haven't studied the taiko drums yet, but I really want to. I love them. And the triangle in Brazil, you can see, so if you've seen nothing yet if you haven't seen Brazilians play the triangle, because
I have not.
It's crazy. They'll inside, and they have they play it like a drum kit. Like they'll they'll use their fingers to play very, very fast little triangle notes, and they'll play inside the triangle, they'll play on the top, and they'll, as well as using their fingers, they'll also go from the sides, different sides of the triangle, and it makes such a cool beat. So check out that if you're really interested in the triangle, or if you still think the triangle is a joke, just go to watch some Brazilian triangle.
Excellent. Okay, that is going to be edited and shown everywhere, because let's not underestimate the skills that you need in order to properly play a triangle. Wow. Mind-blowing information. Lucy, I feel like I owe you a lesson, a Venmo payment for that lesson. I loved it. Thank you so much. I had no idea. I learned something new. So, everyone watching here, please respect for the percussion players that play the triangle. It is not as easy as you think it is. So I know we're kind of running out of time, but Lucy has played. No, this is all like fascinating. But Lucy, I want to mention that you have toured many, many different cities with Hans Zimmer World, which is amazing. And you also frequently gets performed with Igudesman and Ju. I absolutely adore that duo. I think they are hilarious and they're so smart. So if anyone want to check out Lucy's performances, just go look for Hans Zimmer World and Igudesman Ju. She's also performed in many other places too. So this brings us to my next I just remembered that there's something that I had prepared to show everybody, to show off how what an incapable vibraphone player I am. Actually, I think I'll show it. It's only 10 seconds, right? Everybody can get a good laugh. And then you watch Lucy and then be amazed at how well she can master those instruments. Okay, here's a quick second video clip of Louise butchering the vibraphone.
Okay. Close enough? Do you want to try?
Oh my god, that's quite good. You're holding 4 sticks and you kept them in your hands while you were hitting it. It's amazing.
Oh my gosh, Lucy, you're the best. And actually, this is I am like completely shocked now because I'm seeing comments from Alexei Igudisma. Oh my gosh, it's like my idol. He commented. He said, "How about the sleigh bells?" Thank you so much for tuning in. I had an amazing time chatting with you and Hyunki Ju. But yeah, okay. So he's asking, how about sleigh bells? Are those difficult to play?
I have nothing to say about the sleigh bells.
I
don't
I
like
can
the
point
sleigh
you
bells.
guys in the right direction though. There is a segment in a recent Amuse News. If you go to YouTube and search for Amuse News, Lucy taught something there. It's got to do with sleigh bells.
Christmas
Okay.
edition.
Yeah. Now, Lucy, tell everybody about this very recent stream that you put on Music Traveler. Music Traveler is a platform where you can watch streams, musicians recordings that you can watch in the comfort of your own home. And you did something called what is it called? My nice
My nice life.
my nice life at home recital. Tell us about that.
That was fun. That was, I think, towards the beginning of Corona times, and it was my first proper home recital. So Alexi helped me to set up all these cameras. We had in total, I think, 6 or 7 cameras. There are a lot of angles in there, and we used also a GoPro 360, which looks amazing with all the percussion instruments surrounding in the room. And My Nice Life is just about me putting together whatever I want into a recital, because I can do that. Because I fell in love with composition, and in this recital it's mostly my own compositions plus a piece by Chick Corea, because Chick Corea is someone who I really respect and love. He influenced my style of composing, I would say, a lot. So yeah, just put together, for example, there's the piece that's actually called My Nice Life. It's a collection of instruments that I love the sound of. Cajon, tan from Brazil, conga, a gong behind me, which is Asian, and just, it's not meant to go culturally, but it sounds really nice. So that's a nice piece.
I watched it.
Yeah? Did you like it?
I watched it, and it was amazing. I enjoyed it so much, because sometimes you think, oh, she's a drummer, she plays percussion, it's going to be a lot of just, rhythm going, but actually there's a lot of melody as well, because she plays the vibraphone. But even when you're at the drum set, you've got all different kinds of sounds and textures going. Am I right that you're going to give us a sample of that stream here live for like a few seconds?
I'll give you a few seconds.
Let's do it.
I don't know how to get the camera angle.
I see the drum set.
We'll try. Well, to get the full angle, you just have to get the stream.
Exactly. That's it.
This is the teaser.
That's a great promotion. Let's go to solo on Lucy,
okay,
so we can see more of her setup.
There we go. Okay. So I need to turn down my speaking mic. This is a segment from Romance XL, which is a piece I put together, again, of timbres that I just love the sound of. And there's a lot of Cuban influence as well as Brazilian influence in there. So, turning off my speaking mic. So I'm back. Can you hear me again?
Wow! Wow! I don't have symbols. If I had symbols, I'll do that. But yay! This is my applause with my little note
I
A.
love that.
Oh wow, that's amazing. We did put up earlier the where to find there Alexei shared a full URL of where to find that, but for an easier way to look for that, we also have a little banner that we prepare for you guys where you can find that full stream. It's like, nonstop fun. Did I mention that you also had all different like crazy outfits, beautiful outfits? It's like a real show. Let's get that banner up. Here it is. My Nice Life Home Recital, Lucy Landymore. Check it out. It is, I'm telling you this because I sincerely loved it. A pleasure, an honor speaking with you, Lucy. Thank you so much for hopping on this morning. And thank you for all the tidbits about percussion instruments. Somebody in the comments said that they learned something new today, as did
Oh,
I.
that's nice. That's
So
nice.
thank you. Yes, Rory is saying that that was awesome. Thanks, Rory, for tuning in. Yeah, Lucy is incredible. All right, thanks again, Lucy.
Thank you so much, Louise. So nice to chat.
On the road.
Bye.
Yay. Bye. Wow. Okay, that is our first artist. We just couldn't stop asking. I couldn't stop asking her about questions about percussion instruments because I'm just fascinated. And obviously, now you all know how little I knew about the triangle and the bass drum. Moving on, we have two more artists, and this next artist, her name is Meghan Pulles. She was classically trained, so she was classically trained to be an opera singer. But about 7 years ago, she transitioned, and now she is an indie pop singer songwriter. If you tuned in earlier in the show, you probably heard her recent release was just came out days ago called New Horizon. I can't wait to introduce you to Meghan Pulles. Let's go to Meghan Pulles. Hi, Megan. Welcome to
Hi.
the show.
Hi, how are you doing?
I am doing great. And I am so grateful that we finally have this time to chat because, and I keep saying this because it's really amazing. We connected more than a year ago and we were supposed to have an interview last year. I believe it was April was when it was scheduled.
Mhm.
And then we rescheduled again in November, but both times there were other things that got in the way. So finally, you're here. It's great to have you on the show. I wanted to ask you because the first time when I got to know you, you were about to have an ear surgery. Are you fully recovered from that right now?
Yeah, I would say that I believe I have most of my hearing back. I have a follow-up appointment the day after my birthday in a couple weeks. So I'm hopeful that everything is okay. And yeah, I'm just grateful that, it happened when it did because, if I feel like if I put it off, it would have, gotten worse. And so
It's scary, right? As a
yeah.
musician, you need your hearing. I know there was Beethoven, many
Yeah.
years ago. He kind of set the precedent that you can still write music and be excellent at it without your hearing. But come on, hearing is such an
Yeah, but
essential
it's a
part.
scary thing for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Glad to hear that you're better and that you are able to hear. And tell us about your. I'm curious about your transition from a classically trained background to now a more indie pop singer songwriter path. Is it a purely from musical interest, like what you're passionate about, or is it the opportunities, or maybe something else?
Yeah, so, ever since I was like 12, I've been singing classically, and it was kind of something that it was like a gift that I had, and I didn't really know what else I was going to be doing in college. So I took that path. I said I'm going to be an opera singer, and then But when I was 17, I started kind of writing songs, but I never really took myself seriously. I was just like, oh, I'm just like processing in my bedroom. Um, and it wasn't until I moved here that I started like getting some like little signs from the universe, like, hey, you might be affecting people with what you're doing. So like maybe you should, um, it started off like I played this open mic that my friend put on, and I played a song that I wrote called the Breakup Waltz. It's about breaking up with someone and ending that chapter. And the guy was sitting at the bar. I came out and he's like, "Hey, did you write that song, that breakup song?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I just broke up with someone, and like you're like in my head. Like that's amazing." And so it was like little things like that I was like, okay, like what I'm doing is kind of coming really easy to me. It's like flowing, and I'm so passionate about it. And I think that was the missing piece for opera, was I never had a passion for it. I was just good at it. And it's really important for me to feel fulfilled in what I do. Um, and it just feels like it took me a little while to come into this, but I think this is what I was always meant to do.
Yeah, and I can relate to that because as a musician, of course, you're writing music because this is something that you need to do. You have a talent for it, but that connection with your listener, that's also a huge component of your
Yeah.
creative process, right? So to be able to connect with people with your music is a powerful thing. Something that is a theme that I find throughout all of your songs is, and this is something that you also mention all the time, is that you feel that you use music as a therapy. It's got a specific kind of healing power, and you write very specifically about these kind of ups and downs in life that are very powerful and intense. And do you draw inspiration from personal experience or hearing stories from other people?
Oh, my stuff is very personal. It's very personal. I think I mean, every now and then I'll hear a story and I'll be like, oh, that'd be a cool song, or something will happen outside of me. But most of my stuff, I bring my truth to all of my music. Like there's always going to be a piece of me in my music, and being really open and vulnerable with how I'm feeling when I'm writing. I've just found I used to be afraid of that. I used to be like, oh, I can't talk about this. It's too hard. It's too dark. It's too, but I had to like wake up and be like, you know what? Like by you sharing your story, you're going to like get your listener to want to be vulnerable in their lives, and to and to kind of connect with them in that way. And I think that's just like a super special part of being a musician, is getting people to that vulnerable place just because of something that came from your head. it's
Right.
it's incredible.
Like like that experience you gave us earlier, somebody going through a breakup and then listening to your song and feeling all the emotions that you put in the song.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about New Horizon because this one is hopeful,
Yeah.
and but it's coming from a darker place, which I'm sure everyone tuning in here can relate to. The pandemic, so much suffering. Talk about New Horizon for us.
Yeah, so this song, it's just super special. I took this songwriting course during the past 6 months, and I connected with some amazing collaborators. Like some of them are all over the world, and so Craig is in Australia, in Victoria, Australia, and he had approached me about wanting to write together because he had heard my pandemic song How Much Longer, and he was like, oh my god, like I want to write with you. And we wrote this song together on Zoom. Um, you know, and it happened in an hour. And I think the most beautiful thing about it was we were able to come together and bring what we were feeling during the pandemic and say, okay, like this is where I am, this is where you are. And, you know, he talked about losing his mother, and we started kind of off in the dark with this song. We were like, okay, so this is like someone passing away. This is like someone saying goodbye to the things they leave behind when they leave this earth. But then it's amazing how dark transforms into light, because during the production stage, we were like, no, this song is not that. And people don't need like any more darkness. They need to be taken on a journey, and they need to be like uplifted right now, because yeah, it's been a hard time, and mentally people are not, they're not well. And making music that can affect someone in a positive way, that's really important right now. And yeah, I just, I love that it takes you on this like road trip to like just to sunshine. And that's, you know, that's what we need right now.
Yeah. I want to echo, thank you, Red Approves, for that comment. So cool that Megan found her passion and connect all of us. Yes, absolutely. And thanks to technology for also connecting us during this dark time, because, you know, we had the technology before, but during this time, it was even more obvious that we can connect with people using technology from all different parts of the world, and that's something that we can cherish, and hopefully we'll continue to have these kinds of collaborations going on. We talked about darkness, how it fueled Megan in her songwriting. We talked about how her new horizon is looking forward to a more hopeful future. I wanted to, I know Megan's going to perform for us something, but I wanted to bring a lighter tone to this segment, because in preparation for this interview, well, not previous interview last year, I had already asked Megan, her friends, two of her friends, Brittany and Danelle, about the Megan they know, and they shot quick videos for me, and I put together something to show everybody here how you can get to know Megan more through the eyes of her friends. So let's take a look at
Oh
this
no.
video segment. But Megan has never seen this, so I'd be very curious to find out what Megan thinks. Okay, let's go to that video.
If I had to use one word to describe Meghan, I would probably say passionate.
Mess.
All the choices in my life.
She is not writing or playing music. Meghan is probably playing with a cat.
A grandma. Yeah, definitely. She is that chick that is like bitching about everything, like peeking through the blinds and like snooping and like getting into things she doesn't need to be involved in, or like stupid stuff like, oh my god, I dropped my bread and it fell butter side down. Or she's like, oh, Mother Nature, she's a bitch. Like stuff like that. If you could gift Meghan $1 million, I wish. How do you think she would spend that money? Definitely buying things she does not need.
Like weirdly expensive, like a microphone that Taylor Swift sang into one time.
Keep going through my broken mind.
That's fine.
Shout out to Brittany and Danielle for sending those clips. I enjoyed it. Megan, what did you think?
Oh yeah, I mean it's accurate. I am the creepy old lady that peers through the blind, so I'm glad Brittany knows that.
And also, I'm totally with you though. If you had $1 million, why not buy the things you don't need? That's the
I
fun
mean
with
that's
shopping.
what you do.
Right, exactly. So yeah, but I don't want to underestimate how much love you get from friends like Brittany and Danelle. They
Yeah.
truly love everything that you do. They love your songs, and there are many out there, your fans, who appreciate you and your music. I can't wait to hear a song that you're going to perform for us live.
Yeah, so I was thinking of just doing New Horizon, because
That sounds great.
we should.
Uh-huh.
I know.
Jules Robbie says, I thought that might too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We gotta do what we gotta do. I don't have that mansion yet.
She will. All right, let's go to solo on Megan. New Horizon.
All the things I left behind, keep going through my broken mind. All the choices in my life, the strength it gave to make them shine. Moving through the veil of tears, wash away these wasteful years. Take this moment and have no fear. Love forever will live here. How do I say goodbye when it's dark and cold inside? I'm going to a new horizon where the sun is always shining. So don't weep for me, someday we'll be together in this new horizon. Oh, oh, I'll be sending down a sigh. Keep your sweetheart open wide. Let my love light always shine. All the things I left behind. I'm going to a new horizon where the sun is always shining. Oh, I'm going to a new horizon where the sun is always shining. Oh, I'm going to a new horizon where the sun is always shining. So don't weep for me. Someday we'll be together in this new horizon. Oh, 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 oh. Thank you.
Your new release. That was terrific.
Thank you.
I must address a comment from Brittany. She said, "I swear I said something nicer."
Yeah, I was
Um,
about to text her and be like,
she says, "Love you, gang." To my
it's
gang.
fine. It
Yeah,
was a
just
pandemic. We were all in it.
blame me because I edited her. She sent me a much longer clip, and I just edited what I thought was the
Yeah, you
funniest
found
part.
the roasting. You found
But no, Brittany, she's got so much love for you, Megan, and I think you know that.
I know.
Yeah,
She's my
yeah,
girl.
it's just sweet though.
She
Thank
loves
you, Megan.
him.
Oh, I've got a banner showing Megan's website. If anybody wants to find Megan, I know she's also got a Patreon account. If you want to support her, New Horizon is out. It's actually listed if you go to today's show on the offstagetunes.com website. It's one of the new releases listed on that page for today's event. So thank you again, Megan, for joining in and continue to help heal people with your music. We thank you for doing that so much.
Yes, thank you so much for having me, Louise. I'm so happy we finally got got to do this.
Same. I
Bye.
Okay. Wow. That was Megan. We've got one more artist, and Rob Roth is not your typical indie artist. So, what do I mean by that? Many times when I talk to musicians and I ask you, "Oh, how did you get started?" And sometimes I don't even ask that because 9 times out of 10 or 9.9 times out of 10, the answer is, "Oh, I've been playing since I was a kid and I always knew that I wanted to do this because it's a passion." Well, Rob actually grew up playing a lot of sports. I believe he picked up the guitar when he was in high school, but it wasn't like, "Oh yeah, this is my thing." He played a lot of sports. Went through many injuries. He's probably broken every single part of his body part. Okay, that's it. That's a joke. But yeah, he's gone through a lot. And very recently, he decided that music is going to be more than just a passion. And before, just 6 months ago, he started writing his very first song. And it's 6 months later, he's not only released two, but he's got four already in the works. I mean, just fascinating. Let's go to Rob Roth. We're going to start our interview with Rob. Hello, Rob.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. People tuning in from all over the world. I don't know if you saw, but earlier we've got somebody tuning in from Mexico, and
I
now
know.
we're tuning in from Hong Kong. What time is it in Hong Kong? It's like midnight, right? Hi, Hans. Thank you so much for tuning in from Hong Kong. We're here with Rob Roth because he is going to leave everybody who's been making music for years behind because he is just moving at such a quick pace. And
What's up,
Rory
Rory?
says, "What's up? Oh, you guys know each other. Hey, thanks for staying on, Rory." Rob, let's go to you. Give me. I know you've had this crazy life story with surgeries, from
Yep.
injuries, but give. I know the story, but give everybody a quick overview of how you decided to pick up music.
Yeah, absolutely. And tell me if this mic is too loud or not, because right now I put my headphones back into my ears because when I play, I'm going to take one out. But yeah, my story.
great.
So, yeah, I mean, like you said, I picked up guitar in high school, like very on the surface level. I went to UCLA for a summer program and learned for 6 weeks how to play, the basics of guitar, a couple of the four chords and everything like that. But taught myself songs here and there, thereafter. And, my journey to getting here is pretty wild. I know I told you the story, but it started with a bunch of injuries. So in high school, I was a golfer. I was on the high school golf team, and as well as the basketball team. And basketball is really what caused all of my injuries. Long story short, basically, over the course of 6 years, from senior year of high school until the year after college, I ended up having I tore both my ACLs. I herniated two discs in my back. I tore a meniscus in my knee, and then I also tore a ligament in my wrist. So all from basketball in a matter of 6 years, kind of kept getting knocked down and pushed down, and it was a really, really difficult period to stay present and really focus on myself, because whatever I was doing, there was always some kind of back thought or pain or issue that was going on elsewhere. And so I kind of was just coasting through life in a sense without really being present. And yeah, with my last injury, my last ACL injury, it happened in 2015, but I waited until 2018 to get the surgery because I was kind of fed up with the surgeries and I really just didn't want to deal with it anymore. And when I decided to get the surgery, I was like, you know what? I'm in a really bad place, both mentally, physically. I need to make some changes in my life and get back onto a positivity track, right? And get myself back on track. So brain rewired via blunt force trauma. Exactly. Basically, when I had the surgery and I changed my mindset that summer following, I wanted to get back to some of the things that I was passionate about that made me happy. And one of them was golf, because that was, like you said, sports growing up were my thing. I played baseball, I played basketball, football in middle school, soccer, everything. And and guitar was the other one. So it had nothing to do with singing, had nothing to do with like actually playing or anything, but it was just picking the guitar back up and relearning songs and learning new songs and whatever. And yeah, my roommate Ryan, who was so incredibly encouraging. I was playing at the time when I was I think this was October or in September of 19. Started playing in my room. He heard me, thought I was incredible, started playing for some more friends just to get feedback and whatever. And at that point I was like, you know what, this is something that maybe I could do as a side hustle, right? Like, I'm pretty good at it. I know how to play guitar, and maybe that it'll turn into something. So I invested in myself and I took a vocal lesson for the first time, November of 19. And then the pandemic hit, and in hindsight was kind of a blessing in disguise for music, because I was working from home, and I had all this time to really sit down and practice, not just teach myself more songs on the guitar, but also learn how to sing. So over the course of 9 months, really, it kind of turned into this like manifestation of something that became more than a passion. And like you said, I'd never written a song before actually Thanksgiving this past year. And I had taken about the 4 days of Thanksgiving weekend and just wrote, whether it be full songs, whether it be just like a melody or lyrics or whatever. And that's really what I've been working off of. I know you mentioned, so I have these 2 songs on Spotify that were my first 2 songs, but I also have a lot of stuff in the works. And these songs that I've been working on are even pieces that I've worked off of from that one weekend, Thanksgiving weekend. And I'm kind of in the middle of like trying to make this a real thing and launch it and, try and find myself within this music world. So, yeah.
I'm sure everybody, if you're like me, when I first heard the story, you're probably thinking, "Oh, let's hear something. Let's hear what Roth can make." So I prepared a snippet. This is something that we shared several weeks ago on the show as a new release. So it came out earlier this year. Take a listen. This is Roth's first ever song. It was released recently. It's called "You're Long Gone."
When I turn the radio on, they're playing our song. I used to sing it in the shower every hour, but now you're gone. When I look up at the stars, there's something missing. I can feel it going sour, losing power. Now it's gone, 'cause you're long gone. You're long gone.
Wow, I want to underline what achievement you've made, because from somebody who did not grow up spending hours and hours practicing your instrument, learning how to sing, to somebody just within 6 months, you've not only learned how to sing, you wrote your first song, you played the guitar to accompany yourself, and you released it. Do you realize how other people probably take a lot longer to do all this, and Rob, and you just like ran to the finish line with that song? Congratulations. That's
Thank you.
amazing.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny what you just said, which is like running to the finish line. One of the things like my mom always used to laugh at is that like I used to, when I was a baby, I would run before I walked. So like my parents always joked about how I would just get up and sprint before I was even like walking or crawling. And so it's kind of kind of a metaphor for this, which is like I found something that I love and enjoy doing, and feel like, one of the things that Meghan said is like when you found something that you're passionate about, that you actually are putting your heart into, it kind of comes easy in a sense, and it just flows. And yeah, I just I love doing it, and I want to do it all the time. And yeah, I mean, it's also interesting that you brought up, looking back, because I did this week take a slight break from social media and was able to reminisce on like not reminisce, but like look back and see what I've achieved just since, I started doing this. And it's like, yeah, I released 2 songs. I have 4 songs in the work, 2 of which have been picked up by producers. I've, grown so much vocally as a singer just even in the last month itself, learning new things, learning how to do new things, and having more control of my voice and confidence in my voice. And there's a lot more to come. So I'm really excited about it all. Yeah.
Rob, I want to take a moment and really highlight some of the comments that we've gotten because I think they're awesome. Megan Pulles says music finds us when we need it most. And in
Does.
your case, yeah, you needed something. And You're Long Gone is almost like you saying goodbye to the old self. And which is why when I first started, I asked you, why is it You're Long Gone? It sounds like a sad song, but it's not
Yeah.
kind of positive energy to it. So yes, to that, Red Approved says we need a movie made about Rob's adventurous journey. Oh, I have something to say about this, and I'm gonna save it for a little later when we talk about your upcoming works because that's exactly what I said to Rob. Okay, I'm gonna save that for a little later. Uh, Next comment was from Hans Ebert. So Hans says, "Really nice, Rob. Well done. Thumbs up."
Thank you, Hans.
I don't want to take too much time to do this, but I recently was interviewed by Hans Ebert. He's based in Hong Kong, but for anyone who doesn't know who's watching, Hans is actually the former executive director of Universal Music Asia and
Wow.
EMI Music Asia. He's been in this music industry his entire life. He rubbed shoulders with all the musical legends. Like we had a chat and he was talking about, a few weeks ago I was talking to Bob Dylan. I'm like, what? It's just like what? Um,
Casually.
so for somebody in the industry who's seen so many performers, so many singers trying to make a career out of this, to say well done is a great compliment. Okay, so yeah, thanks for everyone for commenting. And yes, Rob is really an inspirational example to all of us. He shows us that, well, you don't have to start when you were a baby. You can start when you feel like you are ready, when you feel like this is your calling. Uh, Go for it because success is how you define it, and what you get out of what you do is the most important, right? And you, Rob, you've taken vocal lessons from a pretty well-known coach. I don't know how much you want to get into it, but how much does getting uh, professional training from somebody who's well seasoned in the industry, how does that shape you as an upcoming artist?
Yeah, I mean it's incredible. I we're talking about my vocal coach, my current vocal coach, but I just want to mention my original vocal coach, Gabriel, who was so inspirational to me in terms of giving me the confidence to actually go for it with this, right? Like my first vocal lesson ever, he was just so excited about my potential, and he, the things that he was saying to me were just so influential to me that like that really catapulted me. And he's just an incredible human being. But who I'm working with right now, he's worked with everybody that you can possibly name. Like my favorite artist of all time, my biggest influence, Dave Matthews Band, is somebody that he works with. And like there's just like a ton of other names that he works with. And for somebody like him to then say to me like that my potential is great, and to tell me that I'm only at like 20% of my potential right now. And over the last couple of weeks, just even the last couple of weeks, the last couple of lessons that I've had with him, to say like your growth since we even started working together is scary, it's insane. Like he's just so such a good human being, and he's such an unbelievable like teacher. And for somebody who works with the best of the best to be so patient and to be so encouraging, and make sure that like if you get frustrated, to like not be frustrated about it, to understand how far you've come, and to understand how much you have to work to get there, right? And like I think one of the things that he actually said to me this past week was, some people who can go to these lessons and like work with the best of the best, but it's not a matter of what you do in those lessons that you pay for and that you get the advice from. It's a matter of putting into practice and like actually staying consistent with it and doing it over and over and over and over again, and doing it for a sustained period of time, which is like one of the things that I probably had a harder time doing for throughout my whole life, other than like golf and some other sports. Like that was just like my life. I couldn't, focus on that stuff. But now he is literally just opening up my voice. And that's the best way to explain it. There's no one box to put it into.
This is a great place to be because you've got people guiding you, but you are also telling us how much you're putting into it yourself, because it doesn't just happen. You don't just have somebody say, "Hey, you've got great potential," and then you wait for it to happen. You have to work at it.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're excited for you. Yes, absolutely. We're all excited for you. There's an earlier comment saying, like, I don't know, from Hans asking if you know James Taylor's music, but a suggestion to take a listen.
Oh yeah, of
So
course.
yeah, people are encouraging you, and you definitely deserve that encouragement.
Thank you.
I was
Thank you.
wondering, because you're like the shining example of it's never too late to start something. For somebody who's similarly in the same boat, what recommendations do you have for them if they do not have the resources that you have, or the connections with industry professionals? What might be the first step that they could take in that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that you just said, the network and the connections, like that's free, right? Like there's nothing that says that you can't go to a free conference and try and meet as many people as possible. And the more people that you meet and the bigger the network that you can create, the web of people that you can create, that's only going to help you in the long run, because as you start to create and as you start to make more things, you have more people to then bounce ideas off of. You have more people to give you feedback and to grow and to learn. And so it might take a lot longer because you don't have the resources to kind of just like pay for a voice lesson, or you can't buy a guitar, or you can't whatever. So like one of the things that I do is I work my actual job is finance. And so one of the things that I was starting to do is build out like personal budgets for musicians, creatives. And that's like one of the areas that musicians just starting out in can learn something from, because if you can chop off $20 here, $20 there, $30 here from different expenses throughout the month, throughout the 6 months, whatever it is, like you're going to be able to pay for what you want to pay for if you stay consistent, if you stay vigilant, if you stay just like on top of your things. And you just have to stay on top of it. You have to trust yourself. Trusting in yourself and listening to yourself is like the biggest thing in the world, because if you let anybody else in your head, that's where all the issues come from. And I did that for a long time, and I'm so over that.
Yes. You have to give yourself credit. You have to work hard, but know what you can do, and also discipline yourself into actually making things happen. Don't just wait for things to fall in your lap. It's not gonna, doesn't work
Yeah.
that way. Yeah.
And believe in what
Rob,
you can't do yet.
oh, exactly. Untapped potential.
Yeah.
Like, realize your untapped potential. Um, Echoing what that earlier comment about having a musical or a movie about your adventure, I want to talk about what's next, because you have 4 more songs that are already in the works. And thank you so much for sharing the demos with me, because
Of course.
I hope it's okay that I share this, because I listened to them and I said, Rob, it sounds like these are Broadway songs. They're like perfect for Broadway. You've got this kind of, I when I hear them, I can see choreography. There's a lead singer, there's choreography behind me, and then and at the end of every song, there's like drum beat or cymbals, and then you sing the last kind of refrain from the song. It's just so theatrical in a way that's just waiting to be put on stage. But maybe I'm saying too much. Maybe I don't want to influence the direction that you're going to go with your music. Could you tell everybody what you have planned for your upcoming releases?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, look, I love that you actually brought up the Broadway aspect of it, because it's not intended to be a Broadway. They're not intended to be Broadway songs, right? But it's the kind of thing where I feel like the broader audience that you can reach, if it ends up being more towards a Broadway song, or if it ends up being more towards an EDM song, or if it ends up being more of a pop song, like there's just so many different ways of going about the production side of things to make it sound like it's in that realm. And these songs that I've been working on, they're very much, we were talking about like coming from like the darker side of things in the darker days. One of the songs called Dark Days, but it's very much more of like a positive spin on things, and like understanding where you've come from, why you were in that place, but then it's time for you to like just get up and start moving and start living your life again, and find find the dreams that you used to have, right? Like that's where one of the songs, the idea of one of the songs came from, is that a lot of us had the idea of what we wanted to do in life and like what we were doing, and then all of a sudden March 13th 2020 hit, and it's like everybody forgot about that, right? Everybody forgot about what they were doing in life. Everybody forgot about what their dreams were, what their hopes were, and for a long time we all felt like we were stuck, like we couldn't do anything to then get back on track. And so it's about, a lot of these songs are about like getting back in touch with that and getting yourself back up and rising up and getting back to your dreams and getting back to what you want to do in life. And yeah, they're demos that I sent to you, so they're very raw. So they're just vocals and either guitar and piano or just like a very light production. But I'm very excited for them to be produced. They're currently being produced by some cool people. Hopefully I'll be able to announce those soon. But yeah, they were really, really fun to make. And I've been collaborating with a buddy, Robbie Rosen, who was on American Idol back in the day, and I played baseball with him growing up. So there was like a nice little connection there, and we've been doing some really, really awesome work with it. And he's just so brilliant. On the piano, he's brilliant with like just the structurally of songs, like changing words here and there. And yeah, he's just an incredible human and great partner. So it's been fun, and we're gonna keep doing it.
Really looking forward to what's next. Before I let you perform, I know you've prepared a song to share with us. Before I let you go, as usual, I prepare snacks, but I never have time to eat them. Can I just tell everybody that you also have a side passion as a voice actor? And
Trying to be, at least.
Trying to be. Can we get that secret guest on the show for a few seconds as I eat
Sure.
this?
Let me see if he's available.
Cookie Monster's here. He's ready for cookies. Thank you, Lois.
Oh, thank you, Rob. I just get so much enjoyment from that. When he first did it for me, I almost fell off my chair because I thought it was so funny.
My nieces and nephew
Rob.
likes it too.
I can't wait to hear you perform live. I'm really gonna take a bite out of this cookie. Which song are you going to play for us?
I was planning on doing You're Long Gone, but
Yes,
I think if you want me to play back to you, I can play back to you.
I want to hear You're Long Gone.
You're Long Gone?
And also, for the sake of your nephew, right? You're a top fan. You're number one fan.
Oh yeah,
just
incredible.
loves the song.
I told Lois the other day that he said "Long Gone" by himself for the first time. He's 2.5 years old, and every time that he gets on the phone, my brother and sister-in-law have to say what song do you want to play, and he goes, they have to tell him "You're Long Gone." But last week or 2 weeks ago, he just said it on his own.
Oh,
2.5 years old. He's so cute.
That special moment.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
special. All right, now we all have the privilege of hearing Rob Roth perform "You're Long Gone." Take it away, Rob.
Alrighty. So this is You're Long Gone. This is my first ever song. Here we go.
Lost in this rhythm, my breath so tight, creature of habit, sustained inside. You've got me thinking about us two, engraving memories like a tattoo. When I turn the radio on, they're playing our song. I used to sing it in the shower every hour, but now you're gone. When I look up at the stars, there's something missing. I could feel it going sour, losing power. Now it's gone. 'Cause you're long gone. You're long gone. So much precision never felt right. Still just a creature regaining life. The ground was shifting away from you, pushing me closer to something new. When I turn the radio on, they're playing our song. I used to sing it in the shower every hour, but now you're gone. When I look up at the stars, there's something missing. I could feel it going sour, losing power. Now it's gone, 'cause you're long gone. You're long gone. I was left with no direction, feel like it's nothing new. I found a way to break the tension. I wrote a song that'll stick to you. When I turn the radio on, they're playing our song. I used to sing it in the shower every hour, but now you're gone. When I look up at the stars, there's something missing. I could feel it going sour, losing power. Now it's gone, 'cause you're long gone. You're long gone.
Thank you so much, Rob. That was You're Long Gone by Rob Roth. If you want to find Rob, let's show that banner where you can find Rob on Instagram. Coming up in 5, 4, 3. Oh gosh, the suspensions. There we go. Rob Roth Music. That's where you can find Rob. He's got more music coming soon. Check him out. Follow him. He is an inspiration. Now, Rob, thank you so much for sharing everything that you share with us on the show.
Of course.
Amazing, and can't wait to hear what's next.
Yeah,
And,
thank you for having me. This was so much fun.
Best of luck to you, Rob. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. I know we totally went for the longest show ever since we started. This is episode 6, and we started this back in January. I've been having so much fun chatting with musicians. I appreciate all of you for tuning in. I appreciate all of you for commenting throughout. It really helped keep the artists feel like they are being heard. And this is my goal with this channel, is to bring those relatively unheard voices to more people. And after the show, I'll clip some highlights from the show to share with more people. We will be online again in 2 weeks. The next episode is episode 7. It is going to have Vera and JT Curtis from the Atomic Rock Reunion. Those are our featured artists. So tune in again in 2 weeks, again on Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And if you're tuning in from other parts of the world, just make sure you double check Eastern Time, what that is in your respective zones. So amazing. Lucy Landymore, we have Meghan Pulles, we got Rob Roth. Thank you very much. This is Offstage Tunes, and we're going to sign off. I'm Louise. Hope to see you again in 2 weeks. Bye.